Hello friends, welcome to Susan and John MathTube. So we continue with revision with past paper questions. Okay, in this video, my plan is to teach you Bayes theorem and of course a little bit about conditional probability because I saw that in many question papers they are at least asking statement of Bayes theorem. Okay, that's for 1 mark and a numerical related to Bayes theorem and total probability. Now look at this. In order to do problems related to Bayes theorem, first of all you have to understand the given scenario will be broken into, for example here they are talking about earthquakes. What you do is you make a picture like this. Now look at this. I have already read the question. You can pause the video for a minute and read question number 2. And according to the question, there are 3 types of earthquakes. And they have divided the event earthquake into 3 mutually exclusive and exhaustive events. We have event E1, that means light earthquake. So I am going to define E1 means light earthquake and E2 stands for moderate earthquake and E3 stands for high or heavy earthquakes. So E1, E2, E3. Now look at this. These events are mutually exclusive. Remember, the term mutually exclusive means if E1 happens, E2 cannot happen, means at the same time. Mutually exclusive means simultaneous occurrence of events will not happen. Look at this. If the earthquake is classified as light, you cannot call it medium at the same time, right? At the same time, if you have a medium earthquake, you cannot call it light or heavy or high. Okay. Now you have to read the question properly and find something common to these events. Maybe it will be common for all the things, or maybe it will be common for 2 of them, or maybe it will be, of course, sometimes there will be more than 3. If you read the question properly, you will understand that the common property of all these earthquakes according to this question is capital A. I am calling it as capital A, where capital A stands for look what happens when an earthquake occurs. Damages of household. Okay, so once more let me tell you, in every Bayes theorem question they will be talking about a particular event and you will be able to split that event into 3 or 4 or 5 according to the question, or maybe only 2, maybe 3, maybe 4, maybe 5, into mutually exclusive events, means disjoint events. Also they are exhaustive. Exhaustive means the whole sample space, the whole story will be taken up. So you call such events as E1, E2, E3, E4. Now read the question once more. You will be able to understand something common that will happen to E1, E2, E3, E4, that will be named as capital A. So once you have done with naming the events E1, E2, E3, A, now you should always search for 2 types of possible question. One type of question will be related to Bayes theorem and another type of question will be related to total probability. If you want to understand more, or if you want to identify it very easily, there is a trick. Bayes theorem will be a specific question. Specific means, can you read that, the second part? If a house is damaged, what is the probability it is because of moderate earthquake? So they want to blame it, they want the blame on a particular event, moderate earthquake. So this is kind of like a specific question. And if you read question number A, you'll see that the question they asked is kind of like general. what is the probability the house is damaged? So house can be damaged because of light earthquakes, or house can be damaged because of moderate earthquakes, or house can be damaged because of heavy earthquakes or high earthquakes. See, so this is a general type of question. This is kind of like specific. Whenever you have a specific type of question, remember Bayes theorem will be used. And whenever you have a general question, we need total probability, and that R will become plus symbol. Okay, now I want you to pause the video for a minute, and you can copy the formula for total probability and Bayes theorem. So look at this. This is the formula for total probability, and I hope you remember something called conditional probability. If you do not remember, you can pause the video and check this definition. So remember, probability of A condition B or A given B, normally we read this as A given B, is actually finding the probability of A under the condition B. I will give you one statement so that you understand conditional statements. Tomorrow you have to visit, let's say, the museum. Now I'll give you a conditional statement. Tomorrow you have to visit the museum before 12 p.m. So the difference is, look at the objective. You have to visit the museum. What is the objective? You have to visit the museum. But in the second example, you are subject to a condition. Similarly, the difference between probability of A and probability of A given B is, your objective is same. You have to calculate the probability of A. But when you calculate conditional probability, you should always remember subject to this condition. Okay, and I'll show you another example from Bayes theorem before we solve that earthquake question. You can pause the video and read that question for a minute. So look at this. Here they are talking about a particular student commuting to his college. To his college. And I have already read the question, so I know that I can break this into 4 parts. How many parts can I break this into? I can break this into 4 parts. There is an event which will be common to all of them. And that common event is capital A. And I know that the common event is the student being late. So basically E1 means the student is using a car. E2 means the student goes by a bus. E3 means the student is using a scooter, or E4 means he is using other means of transport. And the common event here is he becomes late, and the probabilities are given. And by looking at the objective, look at the question. What is the probability the boy used a car? And there is a guarantee. Can you see a guarantee? And look at this. This question is specific, not general. They didn't ask the question, what is the probability the boy will be late? If they ask the question, what is the probability the boy will be late? Think about it. It will be total probability, because the boy can be late because of using a car, or he can be late when he uses a bus, or he can be late because he uses a scooter, or etc. etc. I'll show you one more question so that it becomes like very clear. So look at this. An insurance company, okay, you can read it, I'll explain. So I've read this question so many times. So I know that this given event, please read the question, otherwise you won't understand. Okay, this given event can be split into 3 parts. So look at this. E1 means the insured person is a scooter rider. E2, car driver, truck driver. And the common part is one of the insured person meets with an accident. What is the probability that he is a scooter rider? So this is a specific question. They didn't ask the question like what is the probability insured person meets with an accident. Then it can be a scooter rider or a car driver or a truck driver. There will be three possibilities. So definitely this is Bayes theorem. Once more let me show you so that this part is very clear. I think you can pause the video, you can draw that picture and then check my answer. Okay, so there are three possibilities here. Bolt produced by machine A, machine B, machine C, and the common part is a selected bolt is damaged. And this is a specific question, so this is of course Bayes theorem question. Now let's go back to the question paper. Okay, now I'll tell you how to solve the problem. I want you to read the question. So look at this. I have divided it into three parts. And first part I told you it is a general question. So I'm going to use the formula for total probability. So the required probability will be probability of E1. I hope you read the formula into probability of A given E1 plus probability of E2, probability of A given E2 plus probability of E3 into probability of A given E3. Okay, now what do you mean by probability of E1? That is, what is the probability of having a light earthquake? And according to the geologist, 90% of the earthquakes are light. So this will be 90 out of 100. Now I want you to read this. Probability of A given E1. I already told you, when you find probability of A given E1, your objective is to find probability of A under the assumption E1. So what is the probability? Look at the common part. House getting damaged because of light earthquake. So you can read that 1%. Now look at the second one. What is the probability the earthquake will be moderate? 8%. It is given the 8 by 100 multiplied by what is the damage? Yeah, 10 by 100. And of course I am not repeating the last one. Possibility of a high intensity earthquake is 2 by 100 multiplied by 80 by 100. So this is the answer for the first part. Now look at this. You'll get some answer here. Okay, you can calculate it. Please put it in the comment box. I'm not calculating it. You can do it very easily with a calculator. Now part B. Part B is Bayes theorem. In Bayes theorem, the only thing that you can find using Bayes theorem will be probability of EI given A. In the sense, it can be probability of E1 given A, or E2 given A, or E3 given A, or E4 given A, or E5 given A. Wait a minute, we have only E1, E2, E3. So I have only three possibilities. And I told you how to identify it. It will be a specific question. Look, what is the probability? It is because of moderate earthquake. So I know very clearly it is probability of E2 given A. See, read that question, second question properly. We have a given condition. If the house is damaged. So look at this, the house is already damaged. Now we just want to know the reason behind, or the probability of the reason behind it is moderate earthquake. So Bayes theorem is very simple. There is a numerator and the denominator. The numerator will be probability of E2 and then probability of, just flip this, just flip the positions, A given E2. And the denominator is total probability. Okay, that's the stuff that you found just now. And that is the reason they always ask two questions. They are trying to help you step by step. So basically whatever answer you get here, that will be the denominator. And we already know this. It is like 8 by 100 multiplied by 10 by 100 divided by this total probability. Okay, now let's do one more question and make things a little bit more clear. You can do it in other methods also, but let's use Bayes theorem. So look at this. We have only two possibilities here. So basically they're splitting the question into two parts. So in a training, the rating can be satisfactory, so that will be my E1, and E2 means unsatisfactory. And the common thing here, you can, once you read the question, you'll understand the common part. Can you guess what's the common part? Acceptable scores. So that is A. So E1 means satisfactory, E2 means unsatisfactory, and A means they have acceptable score. Now let's go for the last part. Find the probability that an applicant will be satisfactory trainee given that he has acceptable. Okay, so they want you to find probability of E1 given A. That is probability that the trainee will be satisfactory, guaranteed that he has acceptable score. So basically, what's the formula? Probability of E1, flip the positions, divided by total probability. So basically we have to find total probability first. What's the formula? Probability of E1, probability of A given E1, plus probability of E2, probability of A given E2. So probability of E1 means what is the probability a candidate will be satisfactory. So how many? 70. 70 out of 100. Now read this part. What is the probability the score will be acceptable, guaranteed that the candidate is satisfactory? 80%. So multiplied by 80 by 100. Now what is probability of E2? Probability a candidate is unsatisfactory. That will be the complement of this. That will be 30 by 100. And probability someone has acceptable score, guaranteed that he is unsatisfactory. How much? It's like 35. That's it. Now plug in all these stuff and you'll get it. Okay, I have another question here. It's from 2073, and I want you to do this question by yourself. So look at this. Explain Bayes theorem. I think now you got the question type. Okay, so read the question, and by reading the question you'll understand that we can split this into what you call 3 parts, and 3 parts are like what you call brand 1, brand 2, brand 3. And the common thing, the common part, that is that capital A will be the players require warranty. So basically capital A means the what you call the DVD player will require a repair in the warranty period itself. Now I want you to read question A and question B. When you read question A, what is the probability that a randomly selected purchaser has bought a brand 1 DVD player that will need repair under warranty? So look at this. This is specific. They have clearly mentioned brand 1 DVD player. That means it is Bayes theorem. Now if you read the second part, what is the probability that a randomly selected purchaser has a DVD player that will need repair under warranty? So they have not mentioned. So this is total probability. So I will strongly recommend you find part B first. That will give you total probability. And part 1 is probability of E1 given A, that you have to work out with Bayes theorem. Now I'll show you one last question related to Bayes theorem and wind up this video. So look at this. They have, by the way, they ask a lot of theory questions. So in my opinion, start preparing theory like what you call 1 day 10 questions at least. There are around 30-35 questions in theory. So start now itself. Read a lot about these stuff and you can write in your own words, but don't create your own theory, but write in your own words. Okay. So they're asking what is mutually exclusive, what is equally likely, give example, etc., etc. And anyway, you can go through that part. The second part, look at this. I want you to try this question. and if you can put the answer in the comment section so that it will be helpful for other students. Okay, so look at this. By reading that question, I understand that, so we can classify this into three parts. Agency 1, agency, what do you call, they given names like agency D, agency E and agency F. And the common part is, let it be from agency D, E, F, anywhere, but the tire might have, what do you call, the tire condition might be bad. So that is capital A. Okay, that's it. So one more advice, work out a lot of questions. Get the concepts and ideas from the videos, but work out a lot of questions. Otherwise, in exam time, you will not be confident and you might make mistakes. Anyway, I'll be back with another video very soon. So till then, my friends, bye.